Hey there, Just a 3 TV. It's me, Authorian, and welcome to another daily dose of Marvel Strike Force. And today we have an awesome topic, which is pretty much the 2020 preview called Doom Rising, which is just a fancy way of saying roadmap for the game. Although it's got a negative connotation given some of the big mistakes that some other AAA game studios have been putting out there. So let's review each section of this roadmap. Keep in mind that this is probably going to take either 12 months or from now until the next annual event for the anniversary of Marvel Strike Force next year. First and foremost, we've all been hearing it, ISO 8, and at first I wasn't really all that excited about it. There's some just nightmare stories for other mobile games and other titles that just, they take a feature like this and they just drive the game into the ground. But I'm slowly starting to get into actually being more hyped. Every time I see an update for this, they seem to be taking it super seriously, given that the community has been very vocal about the things that they like and don't like about the game, and taking a logical approach on taking in what actually should change, or would this change compromise the game in any way, and then just implementing or overhauling the entire process altogether. But ISO 8, what is it? Well, it's kind of giving a class to any of your individual characters and giving them either a brand new ability or boosting what they already have. As an example, let's say you have a fast character and you give them like a healer class. Obviously that is going to be an ISO for that character with the ability to heal themselves, an individual character, or the entire team much better than they could before. Or maybe didn't have the ability at all, but with ISO 8 they'll be able to have that ability depending on the team comp and make them that much better. They're just finishing up the second round of their beta on this one with 100 content creators and other players that they've invited to the beta, and it seems like the serious tone of what they want to manipulate their game into a much better version of what it was previously. Alright, so what's new? Let's talk about Doom. We've all really been waiting for Doom to come in. I had a feeling that they were really going to be putting him somewhere in the Dark Dimension, an iteration of the Dark Dimension. And, as of right now, I'm kind of on fence on whether I even find Dark Dimension all that fun to begin with. I do enjoy the challenge. I think the way that they're handling resources to be able to get characters to complete the requirements in order to get through the gateway to be in it is a little ridiculous. But everything should be earned. That's why I said that I'm kind of on the fence about it. I really want to be there and participate and gain the resources and rewards that are involved. But then at the same time, dealing with the various other modes in the game so far, war, blitz, arena, needing and getting those resources takes a toll on your ability to be able to do anything in the game. And adding another iteration of Dark Dimension being Dark Dimension 4 and putting a character in there, a key character, a super character like Ultron was, Dr. Doom probably will be also. I'm hoping he'll be an extremely good character, but not one that had the same kind of game-breaking effect that Ultron had when he first came into the game. Now, will he have red stars or not? Yet to be seen or heard. Now, according to these guys, they're going to make it a lot easier to get Gear 14, and that's generally the case of things. Once they open up Dark Dimension, they don't want everybody and their mother being able to get into the Dark Dimension right away. So over time, like every 3 months or so, like every quarter or so, they're going to make it easier to get that gear for those characters, prerequisites to get in, and make them more available to you, and hopefully in a way that's logical. Let's earn these instead of just giving them away. And for Dark Dimension 4, you're going to need Gear Tier 15. So further down the line, that's going to include a new story campaign. Of course, using Dr. Doom is sort of like the new, or not sort of, but is the new central storyline. Next on the list is a couple more challenge tiers, which is pretty cool. I do like them in a way that I think it's balanced enough to where nobody's going to progress further than you at a super fast rate, but it's nice to have those new resources available to you, especially on auto, if you can actually finish them. I still got one more to clear, which is extremely difficult. I think it's like the blaster one, and I just gotta sit down and develop those characters a little bit more and be able to defeat that. Getting a couple new challenge tiers kind of makes me cry, but at the same time I know it's going to come with additional resources that we could definitely use. Next on the list is actually a pretty interesting one. We're going to get some difficulty tiers for the Greek raids, which is really, really nice because I kind of like the difficulty selector in Ultimate 7, in all the Ultimates raids a little bit, because you're getting more points for your season in a more logical way, given that the population of the game is growing, and you're rewarded both per node and overall when your alliance does really well during the raids at a much more logical level and more rewarding level. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. Will they just bump up the numbers for the rewards, or are they going to give you something brand new? My guess would be promotion credits, gold credits for that, gold promotion credits. I would love to see those there at some point, but they seem like they want to hold those back as much as possible. They do need to make a little bit of money to keep this game running, so don't get it wrong. Next on the list are the improvements. Not a lot of them are anything that's going to affect your gameplay all that much, other than your quality of life overall, but there's one section here that is actually pretty interesting, which is going to be the blitz adjustments. First and foremost, they want to flatten the rewards for the shards that you're going to be getting in Blitz. Like, probably the most negative thing about Blitz is that it's not just, the cheating or the Blitz bots and things like that that are in there, but it's the possible rewards that you can get as a player who's consistently actually in there blitzing for the wins. You're going to get more in the higher tiers, and they're going to be flattening off pretty much what you're going to be getting for each one. But the biggest takeaway from that is that it's going to be more than it currently is. One of the weird improvements to Blitz, I don't understand it completely, that's the only reason why I call it weird, is that they're going to be limiting the number of refreshes per character in a 24-hour period. I mean, it's already limited to 4. The only thing that would happen, I don't know if that's gonna make it more fair or it's just gonna bring down the overall score, because I don't know, the effects of that are going to have to be as seen after the effect takes place, because just by taking away the refreshes shouldn't affect the game score all that much, depending on how you're blitzing, per cycle throughout the entire day to the next day of the 3 days of blitz. Except for maybe to spread out what you can score to more teams in your roster. I suppose that would make more sense and make things more fair. I guess that's the best way to call it between rosters. And this really actually works as a whole into the third improvement that they want to be able to make, which is changing the point calculations for, winning a match. You're going to get more for winning a match, but less points for taking on teams that are more powerful. That could flatten things out a little bit and make them more fair, but I don't completely understand how that's going to work without looking at the overall calculations after the 3 days of Blitz are over. And really, that's just experience. I mean, honestly, the last two right there, other than attempting to make things more fair between different tiers of players, and it's kind of BS because it really doesn't solve anything in your value in the game. They say value, but really what they really need to do is increase the reward for actually participating in a match. And the biggest problem with that is that there's a big give and take on that, because it's almost impossible to catch cheaters, and even if you are a huge blitzer like I am, just attempting to do better than you did before, per match, increasing that could adversely affect overall how the game is won in Blitz in determining the rewards at the end of the 3 days. It could suck, you don't know. And lastly, in the improvements in Blitz, they want to reduce the time that you're actually spending in Blitz. I don't see how that's even possible unless you come up with different versions of Blitz with similar rewards, and that just almost feels like it defeats the purpose of Blitz. I think what really is happening here is just fighting the negative connotations to what Blitz actually represents. And honestly, if you're playing the game often, this should be more rewarding to veteran players based on time that they've actually spent in game, like myself. I'm a huge veteran player, like most of the top 10% in the game. We play all the time. We play every single day. We love Blitz. We love War, just about any part of the game. And making it easier for newer players to overcome the time and hard work that I put into building my roster completely reduces the stock in value of my roster, and I don't like that feeling. Squad management is a huge, awesome improvement. The one that they're talking about here in their update is being able to just sort your teams. I mean, it's like one of those simple things that you would think that would be logical to put into a game, but when you're dealing with like the technical aspects of updating a game or implementing something new, it's a lot more complicated than I can actually explain even in layman terms. But specifically, it's about sorting the characters in the squad selection screen. Now, this is a huge improvement overall to the quality of life throughout the entire game, because if you've been playing the game for any significant amount of time, you know that when you're switching between different modes and whatnot, it's awesome that they got the slot system. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love that. I can design teams, mix and match where I want to go, but then there are things like where I'm in War where I got to use a different set of characters, or even in campaigns, and dude, it takes forever sometimes to find the character that you need. Yeah, it's cool that you can remember what the power level of your character is, but there's no easy way to just get to that character. For instance, I think it would be amazing, if I'm on a particular node in Ultimate 7 that I need to neutralize a particular aspect, whether it be damage or whatever positive status effects that might be dropping from the enemy to myself or vice versa, I can use a key character to do that. Let's say I'm looking for a controller, but now I gotta think, oh crap, now I gotta go through the list, and now I'm spending, minutes upon sometimes 10 to 20 to 30 minutes looking through my list and deciding which controller I need to use. What if in the squad selection screen, I can sort all the characters into the controllers that I need to put into that one node? Now I got a list of those characters, sorted by the fact that they are controllers, and boom, Doctor Strange, this character can do this, without having to sort through every single character based on their power level. And that's just in the squad selection screen. That is a huge, probably the biggest quality of life improvement that I'm seeing here. And I hope this particular improvement is implemented sooner rather than later. Lastly, a minor but a really, really potent improvement is going to be changing Wolverine as a daily login. You'll be getting a different type of resource. They don't say specifically what that resource will be, whether it will be character promotions or gold credits, or is it just going to be a different character? My assumption would be promotion credits. That's just the easiest way to implement them into the game. But at the same time, they don't know how adversely that might affect the entire population of Marvel Strike Force. Good morning. I can tell you were sleeping on my back at one point today. Or last night.
What?
Your face has got a marker on it.
It does?
Yeah. Look like you got a big birthmark above your eye. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. It's not a big deal. Look in the camera. Come here. Look at, I got my camera up. Just look at your face in the camera.
Oh my.
It's not bad. It's just, you could just tell that because you were drawing on my back, that's where you were sleeping.
Yeah, I draw your whole back.
Ugh. All right, so you gonna join me for Ghost of Tsushima?
Yeah.
The Tsushima or
Sushi.
Sushi.
Yeah.
Sushi.
Ghost of Sushi.
Ghost of Sushi. Well, there you have it. There's the roadmap for the improvements that the developers want to make to the game. I actually like pretty much this entire selection of improvements. They seem like they're taking a serious look at what the community's actually talking about and implementing some really good improvements to the game. What is the biggest change that you can think of that would make your playing experience better in Marvel Strike Force? Leave that down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed your time with it. Hopefully you like the roadmap that's coming up. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. It's always on the right-hand side of the screen or down in the link in the description below. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.